Officer became subject to harassment by two young men after he arrived on the scene to investigate their complaint of a robbery. The complainants wanted him to chase after the suspects and got visibly aggressive as the officer performed his due diligence.
Freedom of speech. First Amendment. The complainants have the right to express frustration, but excessive aggression or threats can border on disorderly conduct. Law enforcement duty. Fourth Amendment. Officers must follow procedural justice, including proper documentation and probable cause before pursuing suspects.
Took all my man. They had a black SUV. I have nothing. You saw we were at a store. They just took off with all of our money and our whole backpack. I have nothing. Everything we own.
Fourth Amendment. Officers are bound to investigate with reasonable suspicion and document all evidence. Disorderly conduct. The aggressive demeanor of the complainants could be interpreted as obstructive behavior under local ordinances.
Are we going to go through our paperwork side of it, or are you just going to yell, go find?
Go find him. What do you mean no paperwork? Go find him. You want a statement while they're driving down the road. You want a statement while they're driving Stupid, man. You want a statement while they're driving down the road.
Due process. 14th Amendment. Officers must document the sequence of events for proper legal proceedings. Obstruction of justice. Aggressive interruptions during investigation can be charged if it actively delays police work. Ratings. Officer, 88% adherence to legal procedure, maintaining professionalism. Complainants, 35%, aggressive behavior, actively delayed investigation.
Clayton sliced his own hand multiple times with the knife that he threatened the officer with, and then escaped into one of the properties.
Aggravated assault. Threatening an officer with a weapon is a felony under most state penal codes. Resisting arrest. Fleeing or threatening officers while under suspicion constitutes obstruction and resisting. Ratings. Officer, 92%, tactically sound response to an escalating threat. Clayton, 10%, extremely poor decision-making and highly illegal actions.
Was tracked by the newest K-9 hire of the department who was on her first assignment. Despite having blood all over him, he refused medical attention several times, claiming that he had just tattooed himself.
Use of force. The deployment of K-9 units is subject to strict scrutiny to ensure proportionality in response. Evidence collection. Blood trails provide admissible evidence linking the suspect to the scene. Ratings. Officer, 95%, effective use of department resources to track and apprehend a suspect. Clayton, 5%, reckless behavior made evasion nearly impossible. The incident showcases the balance between officers maintaining procedural integrity and addressing escalating threats. Highlights the importance of citizen cooperation and the consequences of obstruction. Officer. Professionalism, 85% maintained control, though there were some lapses in managing complainants' frustration. Respect for law, 95% strict adherence to legal procedures and ensured due diligence. Communication, 80% clear but occasionally failed to connect effectively with complainants. De-escalation, 88% successfully de-escalated Clayton and avoided unnecessary force. Complainants. Professionalism, 45% exhibited frustration and lacked cooperative behavior with the officer. Respect for law, 50% moderate acknowledgement of legal processes but questioned the officer's priorities. Communication, 40% aggressive tone and unwillingness to provide statements impeded progress. De-escalation, 35% contributed to escalating tensions rather than diffusing them. Clayton. Professionalism, 15% non-compliant and erratic behavior with no attempt at self-regulation. Respect for law, 10% demonstrated disregard for authority, pulling a weapon and fleeing. Communication, 20% limited cooperation but some attempts at explanation. De-escalation, 10% actions directly escalated the situation, requiring heightened law enforcement response.